Hey everyone, this is Chanyo66, and this is my post-flight review of the Skywalker 2014. It's a 1800mm wingspan Skywalker that has the new 3-piece wing. Basically, this is all you get to see in this part of the video, is the main wing. Not much to really look at. Got mine from fpvmodel.com, and it is an amazing aircraft. I haven't had a Skywalker before this one, but I have flown the Sky Surfer and the Super Sky Surfer. I've actually had two of the Super Sky Surfers, and that is a larger wingspan, but it's still the same class of aircraft. It's a large-scale FPV. And large-scale RC is a whole nother platform, so don't confuse the two. I don't ever recommend anyone using FPV on a large-scale RC unless you're in an AMA-sanctioned area. Large-scale FPV is what I classify anything over 1.5 meter wingspan, especially in the foamies. Anything under that is like your smaller park flyers and things like that. But in regards to the Skywalker 2014, it is a very forgiving aircraft. All the flights that I've been on, I haven't ever had any issues with the aircraft itself. I did have one video where my entire aircraft blacked out, lost complete power, and my autopilot actually reset itself and circled down and decided to land in a tree. But that was based on power only. The airframe itself did everything that it needed to do and actually kept the aircraft in the air when it was completely blacked out. So it's a well-balanced aircraft. I mean, if you build it exactly to their specifications, you'll have hours of enjoyment on the flights. It is a quick aircraft. I've done a few flights out to 3-4 miles and turned around, not have any issues. I've flown in 15 to 20 mile an hour winds that were gusting up to 30. Still didn't have any issues. Got bumped around a little bit, but that's what to expect in high winds. I haven't taken it up to the clouds because where I live, most of the clouds are right around 10,000 feet or higher, and I'd like to keep a little bit lower. I do have a regional airport near me, so I don't go up that high. But the overall feel of the aircraft, first time ever launching it, I hand launch all my aircraft. And when I launched it, I used a single 5,000 milliamp 4-cell with a Turnigy motor that I'll throw in the description. And everything about it felt good. I actually had too much elevator trim on my maiden launch, and the aircraft had enough power to completely vertical out of it. Once I got the trim set out and got the elevator calmed down, all the launches after that were perfect. I never had any issue with potentially crashing or not enough power or any sort of stalls. Super Sky Surfer has a very large issue with dipping out of the sky when you hand launch it, no matter how hard you throw it. The Skywalker, I did not have that issue. Basically every time I launched it, it was a nice clean launch. Didn't have to really worry about it. Didn't have to focus or get a running start or anything like that. I just tossed it right around 75% throttle, and as soon as it got into flight, then I would start throttling down. Cruise altitude, I actually flew around at right around 50% throttle, which was a nice speed. It gave it a really good power band. I could speed up if I wanted to. I could slow down a little bit more. If I had flaps installed in this, I could probably throttle it way down. But the 1800 does not come standard with flaps. There is enough meat there that you could cut them in, but I did not do that. I wanted this to be a full clean review of the actual aircraft just by itself, and not do any major modifications. The only thing that I did that does not come with the kit is the bottom of my aircraft had 6 mil laminate on it, and the wings had 1.5 mil laminate. But that was just to seal all of my paint work, because if you don't, you start getting the paint like chipping away or peeling anytime you touch it, unless you use foam paint. I don't. I just use standard spray paint, and it doesn't quite adhere as good. But the aircraft overall, I would recommend it for all ages, all experiences. A lot of people mention it as an advanced aircraft, but after flying it multiple times, handing the controls to someone who has never flown FPV or even RC before, and then being able to enjoy flying around, checking out the town, it definitely proved its case as a very resilient aircraft. The only issue that I actually see with it is its storage and breakdown. The tail assembly, they were trying to get it to break down and make it easily removable, but the linkage has to be removed to remove the elevator. If the elevator servo would have been mounted into the elevator or your horizontal tail, it could have just had a single plug to remove it, and then you could take the entire tail off and you'd have a nice flat aircraft. But for now, what you'd have to do is disconnect your linkage, which I like to Loctite mine, so it's not too easy to disconnect my linkage. I would have to break that when I get to the field, Loctite it down, wait for the Loctite to cure, then go fly. So that is the only issue that I've seen with it, is that the tail assembly could have had the servo moved into the horizontal rear stabilizer so that you could just have a single servo plug or a latching servo plug if you are that worried, that could take that out, and everything would break down even more. It does break down, but you just have to look at what you want to do. You could have like a quick connect on there, but I don't really like doing that. I like everything to be locked down, especially on my elevator, because that's one of your critical elements. So, cons would just be the elevator control linkage, not being able to release the entire tail assembly. But pros, there's a whole list of them. Easy to fly, easy to build, everything's there. You can do anything you want to it. It's easy to balance. CG is simple to get to. It can carry everything from a 3300 3-cell all the way up to 10,000 milliamps of 4-cell. And it's just fun. It's probably one of the easiest to fly, most relaxing aircraft that I've ever had. I am used to flying wings. I started on flying wings, but after flying multiple fixed wing, this one is much easier. If you're looking at a starter aircraft, I would highly recommend this over the Bixler or Skyserver, just because of its speed. It flies much slower than the Bixler and Skyserver, so you have more time to react, and it's not as twitchy. It's a bigger aircraft, you have longer wings, so if you accidentally bump your controls, it's not spiraling out of the sky, it would just move a little bit. So, that is the Skywalker 2014 edition, 1800mm wingspan aircraft. Chan Yo, out.